Hi, this is Javi with my home recording experience. And on series 4 of How Did I Produce a Song, Like a Stone by Audioslave, we got to the mix episode. So I'm ready to go inside my session and take a look at it. The way I like to organize my mix, I start with drums. Always drums goes on top and left on the mixer. Go kick, snare, the mics around the kit, overheads, and room. Then I have some percussion here, bass. I have the verse guitars, verse and chorus guitars. I have the solo guitars. I have acoustic guitars, and then the vocals. And then on the color side, all the red tracks are the parallels, the parallel, compression, distortion, stuff like that, and effects. The green ones are basically the instrument mix, where all the different tracks for that particular instruments go into. Okay, so starting with kick, I have a kick mix here. I have two mics, kick out and kick in, and they sound like this. And the way I have it processed is I have saturation here with harmonics and really kicking in the saturation, giving it a lot and compensating here. EQ, giving it around 6.9, cutting about 470. Then I have EQ on the kick out, giving it 10K, cutting 700 and boosting 60 hertz. I'm also low cutting at 1400K. 1400K. Then on the overall mix of the kick, I have this is expander, compression. I have a little bit of high pass filter, and I have more EQ here, giving it the highs, cutting in the mids, the 500s, and giving it a little more highs here, more presence. Compression 1176 blue, it's great, sounds great. Then LA2A, and doing little compression on each of them, and then in the end here I have more high pass filter, cutting a little bit of around the 130 for the bass and giving it more presence at 4K. Then I have what I'm calling kick crush in parallel. So I'm sending it to this Shep's channel strip with a lot of saturation, thump, and that's it, and more compression. So adding the kick crush, it'll sound like this. So you see, it adds length to the kick. It sounds dum, dum, dum. I have the snare. So I have snare top and snare bottom, and this is the snare mix bus. So I have here a little bit of 10K, a lot of 6.9. I'm boosting 220, and that's it for here. This is on the snare top channel. I have here a little bit of compression with this 1176. On the snare bottom, I'm boosting, cranking 220, boosting a little bit of 1.6 and a little bit of 10K. On the mix, I am boosting again 220 and cutting 330. I have expansion as well, expander. I'm high passing it at around, this should be at around 70 more or less, and I'm giving it more 200s, cutting the 500 and boosting highs. I have here the LA2A and saturation to the whole mix. Then I have couple parallels, again the Sheps with a lot of saturation, compression, and this addition sounds like this. I'm gonna start with off. I also have like a kick and snare parallel where I'm sending it to 1176 in the transient masters to give it more length. So the whole thing sounds like this. Then I have a plugin from Universal Audio that is called the Ocean Way, which emulates a studio room and gives it more like a room feel, or like a big room feel. That's better. And this addition to the processing sounds like this. I'm also sending more stuff. That's why you heard I have a shaker that I'm going to show you later, and also a tambourine. So I also have drum reverb. This should sound like this. So I am putting saturation into the reverb and then EQing it, keeping the lows and the highs out of the sound. Moving on, I had a 57 just over the kick, pointing at the snare, and it adds a little more presence. I like how it sounds. So what I'm doing with this one is just low passing up to 8. But before that, I am boosting 200 and giving it 1.5. And then I had a Warm Audio Classic condenser mic a few feet away from the kick. And it sounds like this. Without and then with. And again, I'm doing I'm boosting 200 and 1.5, same thing. And I'm cutting low passing it at 8 as well. And this, I have it sent to a mono crush, and this sounds like this. Let me see. Those subtle things, but they add up. So it's an API 560, boosting highs, cutting a little bit of lows, and then 1176, all buttons in, really compressing. See how Okay, moving on, I have drum distortion that I'm sending a few tracks to it. I'm sending this 57 and the warm. I'm sending the kick and snare. So what you do with this is that you balance it. You don't send the same amount into this parallel. Just balance the amount that you're gonna send from each of the instruments, and it should sound like this. So that gives it more length. It's good. Then overhead stereo, they sound like this. The drums comes alive, so it's good. I have here boosting 200s, cutting 500s, and boosting 1.5. And then I have a little bit here of cutting high passing and cutting a little bit of the harshness here for the cymbals. Then I have this is a stereo mic that I have. Is this one actually, the L22 that I use as a stereo mic in the room. So it sounds like this when I add it in. And well, as I said in my past episodes, this is a modeling mic, and it records in stereo, so you can use it in stereo and mono, and depending on the plugin you can select that on the plugin, and then it models different mics. And for this one I used the 67 model, the Neumann 67. It sounds really good. And then I send it to a stereo crush. What am I sending to a stereo crush? I'm sending the overheads and the room to a stereo crush bus, again with an API, boosting a little bit of highs, and again to an 1176, all buttons in. And that should sound like this. Okay, so that's the drum sound. Let's see here. Let me show you the bass, and then I have some percussion here, right? So let's see this. I have the tambourine. So basically, what this is doing, it following the snare. There's like there's a tambo hit there on the snare. Using this mic to record that in stereo, actually, with a C12 model, and removing the lows and just a little bit of the highs. Then I have another tambourine. Just again the same thing. Then I have a shaker. In the song you feel something in the rhythm. I ended up recording this little percussion because, well, there's definitely tambourine in the song, but then there's something in the background that is making a move, is making a sound. I don't think it's snare ghost notes. It's some type of percussion. Maybe it's not a shaker. Maybe it's another thing, but it's making a noise there in the background. That's what I try to do with the shaker here. Give it something in the background, give him some kind of movement or something like that. Using again this mic, just using this was in stereo, but at the end I just used the C12. The whole thing with the drums, it should sound like this. Let's see here. So moving on to the bass, I use the Universal Audio Ampeg SVT plugin, and I go direct into the I go direct into the high C input and use this as my amps, as my tone basically. It sounds really good. And I have different tones for this on the mids. Like you can really shape the tone with the mix knob here, and then you can change the microphones, the cabinets, etc., etc. So I use a more like pronounced microphone here and more like a bassy microphone in this one, and blend the two. Well, I have a lot of processing. This is on the recording side, and as you can see here, I have a lot of processing. I have double compression, EQ, etc., etc. So on the way in, I process the bass a lot, and that is why I'm not processing anything on the mix. Basically, I'm just processing the whole bus, but not individually, because I get the sound that I basically want on the recording, at the recording stage. And then I here have the API 560, boosting the lows, cutting a little bit, and then cutting the highs a little bit, compressing it, with this set as mono. This is a stereo compressor, but you can use one channel. And then I'm shaping the lows and the highs. Then I have saturation, I have parallel compression, and I have distortion as well. So the whole thing, the bass with the drums, it sounds like this. Okay, so that's the rhythm section. We go to the guitars now, and I have the guitars. So yeah, for the guitar, so I have one channel on the left, and then on the left is a clean signal, right? And on the right is that tremolo sound that, you know, is signature of the song. And it sounds like this. And as you can see, I recorded it with a 57, and this mic here, the Townsend Lab. But the Townsend Lab is just blending a little bit to give it a little bit of body to the sound. I believe the main tone, it sounds like a 57. It was recorded with a 57 and probably a condenser mic as well. And on the 57, well, I have lots of highs, 10K, 5K, and then 560, and cutting a little bit of 330, high passing a little bit as well, and then using this compressor here, just touching it. Yeah, maximum 2 dBs of compression there. And then on the whole guitar mix, I have a saturation, and I have another compressor, the LA2A, and this right here, you know, controlling the lows, and a little bit on the high mids here, around 2500. And then on the parallel side, I use a Fairchild with EQ. This parallel here, I have it automated, so it comes in the chorus, so it gives it a big present, a big push. I'm gonna show it to you here so you can see the difference. Okay, yeah, and then I have saturation, you know, I use this plugin, and then I have reverb. So with the saturation and the reverb, it should be something like this. Like how it sounds. Okay, so this is the whole band: drums, bass, and guitars. Okay, and see here. Okay, so we have the guitar solo. Love the solo. Iconic, recognizable. It's incredible. So let's see here. Okay, so recorded with the 57 and the Townsend Lab as well. And let's see, we have a parallel with a Fairchild. See how that makes it sound. Then I have a delay. I already had delay in the sound, but I'm adding delay for the mix. And then saturation, so I'm gonna be adding that. Okay, so on the solo, the solo has basically two sections, is how I see it. The first section when it comes in is in the middle, and then I believe it's double tracked because it goes stereo, and it sounds, it seems like it is double tracked, so I double track it, and then I'm gonna show you. So you saw how it sounds, and I'm gonna bring it closer to the second part so you can hear it. Okay, and as you saw here, I have a big automation here because what you hear with the delays on the stereo part is crazy. The delays are really pushed forward. The guitars, everything is just like whoa, like it's like probably like a sidechain techno kick or something like that. It's like woof woof woof. It's crazy. Sounds really good. Okay, so then after the guitar solo, we come into the acoustic break, and that will be something like this. Okay, and this guitar, what I did here is that I have one track throughout the whole acoustic break, and then I double track it. I track it on the right and on the left separately, so I have three channels for that. One in the middle, and two stereo pan to the right and left, double tracked. And I use some EQ, giving it highs, cutting a little bit of the low mids. Again, cutting low mids, a bit of the highs, and getting rid of the lows. Cutting a little bit of the low mids, giving it a lot of presence. So I'm doing different things on the three different tracks, and I also the position on the mic when I was recording it, I changed it so to change the tone of the guitars. I think it came out really good. It sounds really good. And then on the whole acoustic mix, I have LA2A, and then I'm taking care of the lows here. Sounds like this. And then I have a Fairchild as a parallel compression, and I'm gonna add it to the sound. Okay, and then we we get to the vocals. I went into this session on the prior episode with the vocals, so basically I show you everything that I have going on here. So I think that's basically it. So as you can let me put you parts on the song so you can hear a couple of things. So I think the only thing that is left for me to show here is the master bus, the mix bus, in which I have this SSL compressor. I have then another compressor here, which is this one. And with this one, what I'm doing a lot is automating actually. I'm automating this dry wet knob. And what I'm doing is on the verses, I'm keeping it really low. On the chorus, on the first two chorus, I'm bringing it 50%. And then for the final chorus, I'm bringing it like 96%. It's not the whole thing. It's not the 100% wet, but it's 94%. Because the song has that. I'm gonna show you. The song has this really incredible. The levels on the song on the verses is basically 1, and then on the chorus you can see it increases a lot. It's more compressed, and then in the end is like it goes even bigger than the two prior choruses. And that's what I'm trying to do here. As you can see, I was automated some parallel compression before for the different instruments and stuff like that. So trying to play with dynamics in that way. So let's see here the end of a chorus into the verse. So it's gonna sound less compressed. See how it's less intense. And then here, going from the verse into the second chorus again, it's automated. There you led me on, in your house, alone to me. Yep. And then before the acoustic break, again it comes down. Then okay, so this is this compressor. Then I have a Pultec EQ, giving it 10K and 100 hertz. Then I have this EQ here that I'm using a lot. I'm boosting low mids. I'm cutting high mids, and I'm boosting the highs, and I'm boosting lows here as well. So this EQ is doing a lot. It sounds really good. This is for stereo expander here. For the guitars, and well, the limiting I'm going low because for the purposes of recording the whole video for YouTube and stuff, it was clipping, so I have to play with the limiters and turn it down. And I use this reference plugin here to compare it with the original recording, and this is what I'm talking about on the choruses, right? As you can see here on the beginning and the verses, this is the beginning and this is the verses, and this is the big jump here in the chorus. It's incredible. That big jump is just like really, really compressed and distorted and all that kind of stuff. And then on the verses we come back down, and then again chorus, second chorus, and guitar solo here. You see guitar solo is it goes and increases a little bit, and then comes real down here into the acoustic break, which is just acoustic guitar and vocals, and then the band starts to come in. That's where I double track the acoustic guitars, and then with the whole band it starts to come in here, and then the big jump on the third and final chorus, the bass, it has even more distortion, and it just adds another level of compression as well. So that's really, really interesting how this song is, the dynamics of this song, really, really cool. All right, and that's it. That's my mix, and I hope you like it, and I hope you're learning from it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to respond. I'd like to communicate with you and see what you think. Please subscribe, share it with your friends, like the video so YouTube recommends it. This is the last one for Like a Stone. I'm really happy I'm finished it all, and then I have another series in the works, and it's gonna be coming out really soon. And follow me on Instagram on my home recording experience. I post stuff there as well, so you can communicate with me if you want. And thank you so much. I'll be seeing you on the next video.